So the base of anger is actually fear. If you don't realize this, let me give you an example. A dog is barking at a guy. The dog is angry, but he's actually scared and he has a fear that the other guy, the man, might try to kill him or try to harm him or steal his food. So it's not that the dog has like is powerful. It's just that he's scared, and you should not be afraid of the people who has fear, the feared people. You should not be feared by the people who have fear. Let me give you one more example here. A guy is angry on the road and he's driving really fast and he just looks dangerous, strong, but in reality, he's actually late for the office today, and that is the only reason he's angry. So, does this anger, what is the base of this anger? It's fear. What is that fear? For him, it is that the boss will shout at him and he won't get promoted. Where did that fear? What is the reason for getting promoted? Well, if he doesn't get promoted, he won't make more money. So, his base of this fear is actually his boss, or you can say the money. And one thing about anger is that it travels. If you've seen a water cycle, that the water on the surface gets evaporated into clouds, and then the cloud rains, and the water travels from the river to the ocean. It's the same thing with the anger. Let's suppose the employer of a shop owner shouts at his employee. He gets angry. He goes to the home. No food is ready on the table, so he gets angry at his wife, and his wife actually gets angry at the son for not doing the homework, which she was otherwise just fine 5 minutes ago. But now she's the one complaining that why are you not doing your homework? Well, if you don't do the homework, what will happen? What is the base of fear for that? Well, you won't get a good job, you won't become like a doctor or lawyer or something. The reason why you need to be at the first place is because they don't have a business. Because the guy with like a business, let's say some rich guy, like multimillionaire, he has a son, only one son, and this is somewhat, let's say below average, poor guy, would have the same type of son. They don't do alcohol, drugs, parties, and all that shit. And what are they do are like average. They get the average grade in the school, not above average. This guy, the one who's poor, he's actually sad because his son won't become like a lawyer or doctor or something like, the high level professional that he won't crack like some big exam. And here this guy who's like multimillionaire is like happy that his son doesn't do alcohol and shit and sometimes listens to him. He knows he can settle him in his business. So that was a fear that she had. And it got activated because her husband shouted at her. And now here's the thing. Here's how it continues. The son just goes outside after some time, after doing his homework and shit, because his house has some fight ongoing. He hits a dog with less stone. The dog just got angry and he runs away. And with the anger, he actually bites the guy. Turns out that the guy was the shop employer. So it's circle. It's always circulates. It will come back to you. The reason being is that the people that you know, if you are getting angry at the people who are like close to you, it is guaranteed that the anger will come back. So question comes that what is the solution? How There's two things: how to stop being angry for yourself and how to deal with the angry peoples. So here you have to actually address the base of fear to break this fear, or to say to deal with the angry people. How do we identify the base of fear? Let's say a wife is angry at her husband because he's giving too much support to his brother. Why is she angry? The reason is because he's spending all the resources of the house and the money on some other man, because to her his brother is not her blood related brother. So she's angry at him because she fears that her son and she will not get enough resources, that they won't get the best nourishment, they won't get the best of the things. So how can this guy now break the anger? The answer is very simple. You can say to her by addressing the fear that don't worry, I'll work overtime, I work two jobs to be able to provide for you. I never abandoned my brother, so I will never abandon you. My brother is not even living close to me now. So if I can't, so I will. If I didn't abandon him, there is no chance in hell that I will abandon you. I will work hard to make more money. This is the type of reply that will break the anger. The reason why, because you are actually addressing the base. If you have to cut down a tree, it grows 100 times over. You have to address the base. What's the base? It's root. You have to take the roots out. That's the only way to stop growing the tree, stop the tree from growing. Now, when you start doing this addressing thing, the addressing the base of fear, what will end up happening is that number one, people will never get angry at you because they know that it's useless. Number two, they will actually smile and your biggest enemy actually started becoming your friend, or just don't talk to you because they know that they can't win. If they try, they'll fail, so they just don't bother. Now, loss of control is one other big thing for the fear. What do I mean by this is that if someone, let's say your mom, dad, your big brother, any higher authority, even your boss, wife, anyone, if they feel like they are losing control over you, they'll get angry because they want to control you. And the people who shouts at you and talking about like literally shouting at you on your face are the people who actually wants to control you. Like your teachers, for example, they actually wants to control the students to obey them so that the classroom will be silent, because if the classroom is not silent, the teacher has a fear that his senior teachers, the head of the department, will give him low rating, which will cause a problem in his promotion and his career. The reason he fears that is one of the reasons could be that he's actually bad at his job. He's not that good of a teacher is the reason why everyone is loud and shouting. But if there's a good teacher who knows that he has a great skills, he'll say, okay, I'll try my best to teach the students. If they didn't learn, fine, I'll just switch the college. I can switch 100 times. Anyone can hire me for a higher salary. So this teacher doesn't have the fear, but this one, let's say unskilled, he has that fear. And the reason why they do this in the first place, try to control you, is because you give them this feeling that you're vulnerable, that you can be emotionally blackmailed, that you can be manipulated. There are many reasons for that. For example, if you are like skinny, you'll by default give that feeling because it's the evolutionary thing. It has nothing to do with like body shaming or anything. I'm not saying those. It's just that it's evolutionary. Those who are skinny were the ones who get ruled over. So that is the reason why. So the possible solutions for you could be simply to go to gym if you're skinny or too much fat. That's the other end. That is one of them. The reason why it boosts confidence is because when you know that you are physically strong enough to smash the shit out of anyone, let's say Bruce Lee, he knows that he can kill people if needed to. So he doesn't feel like anyone can hurt him. He knows that he's strong enough to beat anyone. So he doesn't show his vulnerabilities. It doesn't appear to be a vulnerable person or anyone who's like literally strong in like movies and military and stuff. You'll see one thing in real life when you meet them, that you just feel like you can't control them, that they are not vulnerable. They cannot be emotionally controlled, manipulated, blackmailed. You'll know that if you try to do that, you'll fail, not just fail, you'll suffer the losses really heavy. And if the person gets angry at you, yeah, that can be really bad for you. And there's one more side to being controlled, is that when you are not being controlled by person A, but you are getting controlled by person B, the person A shows more anger at you and shouts at you more and hates you more. Because it's kind of like the evolutionary thing that if a slave is not being controlled by this guy, this slave master, but he listens to the other slave master, he will say that how dare he listen to him? He's my slave. Even though he's not the one who's paying for him or anything, it's just how the things were, and that's just what is being continued till now. The software in our brain is the what changed. The hardware is still the same. If you take out the brain of a human and a monkey, they'll be similar. So, what is the solution for the control fear? It's kind of simple but not easy. You have to be stop being in control. You have to like stop being controlled by orders and stop showing that you are vulnerable. The reason why it started in the first place, like with the bullies, with the teachers, with the peers, with anyone, is that it is a symptom of the disease that you're weak. How to get better and strong? Number one is to obviously say gym. Number two is, I would say number one because it's like top. If you go to by level, it would be at the top level. Join some type of fighting club. You saw the movie Fight Club. If you didn't, it's really a wholesome movie about friends. Trust me, if you watch it till the end, you'll know what I mean. The guy just joins a fight club. What ends up happening is that when they fight, number one, they get the confidence that they can kill people, so they just don't show this weak sign. Because I said, fear is the anger is based on fear. So if you've seen like a movies villains, like 90s villain who are like really calm and their voice was deep, it is why they are calm in the first place is because they know that they have like the AK-47 and all those machine guns that they can literally kill anyone. So they were powerful. They had the power. Is the reason why they didn't have the fear. If you have the power, this is superpowers. You don't fear things. That's the reason why you don't show the anger, and that is the reason why if you ever seen a lion hunting, he doesn't bark like a dog. He just attacks his prey and kills him and eats him. Because the dog actually barks because he fears that the other person will attack and kill him. The lion knows that I have the power, I am strong. The only ones that can kill me are like the bulls and elephants. And he knows that the bulls and elephants are like herbivorous animals who eat grass, so they won't kill him or nor they would attack him. So it all comes down to the fact that some people have better genetics. Now this is not a black pill video, it's just that by default if you're skinny or fat or worse of all skinny fat, yeah, it's genetics, one of the things, and it's real. But the solution is you need to join some type of fight club and legal one, not the illegal one like in the Fight Club movie. You need to join that to train because there you'll learn to fight. Your anxiety will be gone, confidence will be boosted up because you'll get that genuine power inside of you. And you need to stop saying yes to the people and start saying no. And that doesn't mean to become rude and doesn't that does not mean that you shouldn't help anyone. Help the people if you have the time, if you want to help them. If you don't, just say no. I'll have to make a separate video for that. So subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for those. And also, if someone just wants to control you, there's one more aspect to that is that he just wants to control order like a whole group. Let's say a teacher is wanting to control the whole classroom, so he's not going to be shouting at the strongest bully. He'll be shouting at the weakest, skinny, fat, physique guy, student, because when he shouts at him, see, the reason why he did that is because he looks vulnerable and weak and too much innocent. By doing this teacher, to him, like he has nothing personal, what he's doing is that he's controlling the whole class. That's just how it worked in the previous timeline where there were slaves. So to control a group of slaves, what they did was we used to do attack one weakest slave and brutally beat him, like really hit him really hard. And what they did was it generated fear in other slaves. The reason why they picked him is because he was the weakest. So to control order, they had to pick the most weakest of all. It was to set an example. So that is one more aspect to that. So you have to stop being afraid of the people who was angry at you. You have to basically stop tolerating them. And you might be saying, they are my seniors. For example, they could be your parents, it could be your boss, could be your teacher. What's this one thing you can do then? And if you're in public in general, is that go to meet them in personal and explain them their base, their fear, which is their base for anger. For example, let's say a boss is angry at his employee for underperforming, and what they're doing is that it's delaying the project. So if the project is delayed, the boss won't get promoted. So his reason for anger, this fear, is the promotion. What the employee can do in this situation is that meet him in personal, not in front of everyone, in personal, person, and tell him that, boss, I know that you want to get promoted and that is the reason you were angry at us and were shouting at us. But don't worry, I will work very hard and you will get the promotion. I will work hard to get you promoted. Sorry that I have done this mistake, but it won't happen again. So when you tell him, like this employee, first tell him, his boss, he'll be shocked because his secret, his weak point is revealed. Like, if you ever seen like the boss fight in any of the fictional worlds, the fantasies and stuff, when the secret of the boss is revealed that this is his weakness, this was a weak point, some personal thing, he gets shocked. The boss will get the same shock. So one thing that he has to do, the employee, is that tell the boss, I won't mention this conversation to anyone. That will get him calmed down because he knows that okay, so only the one person knows this. It will boost your productivity and will make your enemies a friend. The boss otherwise could have been his enemy, the worst enemy, but now the boss understand that he knows that what problem he's facing, what fear he has. So he feels like, yeah, this guy is good. It turns the enemies into friend, not everyone, but certainly something useful. Why? Because even if he did stage your enemies, they will mess with you less. The reason why is that you know that you can fight back, you know their weakness, their fear. So people actually fight like the bullies, actually bullies the kid more who looks weak, who doesn't resist. If the first time the bullies this skinny guy, let's say, and he fights back, tells the teachers, does anything, it will be make it harder for the bullies. So it's kind of like the fighting back, but without violence. And so this is also one of the reasons why you should not fear the people who are shouting at you and are angry. The reason why, again, they are the people who are fearful, who are scared, who are weak. Because if they were strong, they wouldn't care. The reason why anyone would ever shout at you or be angry is because they are getting some type of loss. Let's say teacher is angry because you didn't got a good grades, or your dad. Let's say here's a better example. A teacher is angry because if the whole class gets less number, less percentage, less grades, the principal, the HOD, head of the department, the seniors will tell him that how are you teaching? Why is it that the students are getting bad grades? If everyone is getting bad grades, then he'll be like, it's your fault that you are not teaching properly. We need to change the teachers. So they'll fire him. The dad is angry at his son for not studying, but in reality, the only reason he's angry is because he has a fear that my son won't get a good job, so he won't be able to make a good money, so he won't be able to settle well in life. Now, I'm not saying not to study or anything, but this is the base of his fear. The way the children can address is that telling the parents, I will study hard to become, let's say, a lawyer from this time to this time, let's say from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. But let me take a break at 3 to 4, let's say 2 to 5, and then I study again. So it settles the problem. It's like he has to address the fear first that don't worry, I will crack this exam, I'll become this, I'll reach at this level. So this is the way you should actually go about addressing the fear. And as I said at the start of the video, there are two things about it. How to deal with angry people and your own anger issue. The reason why you should do the first one is because you're getting angry is a symptom that you are the fear of this thing. This is that main disease. You need to treat it because this is the genuine problem. If it was not a genuine problem, then the fear wasn't created and you won't be angry at it. Let's say a small disease like you won't go to like the most professional best doctor in the world just because you got a bit sneeze. The sneezing, yeah, it's a symptom of a minor sickness. It's a minor sickness, so you might not even need to go to doctor at all. But if you had a cancer, you'll go to doctor. If you're getting angry, it shows that it's severe and it needs to be treated. And again, how do you treat that? It's the same thing. You need to be treating the disease. If you're, let's say, you are that parent who are angry at the son, and you know that your son won't be able to clear this exam, what's the other thing you can do? Maybe do your own research and think what is he good at. Maybe he's good at coding, but not operation. He's not good to become a doctor, but he can be a good coder. So that can be one thing, doing your own research for this parent. Or second could be doing some side hustle and starting some small business so that he can settle his son in that business. That can be another thing. So you have to address the fear first. You have to address the root cause. So if you got any value from this video, then do like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I'll answer them.